약간 텐션의 어텐션 핫식스와 함께.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Group B match of ASL Season 16 Ro.24. We got to see some fierce competition among the Group A players yesterday, and as a result, the two players Soma and Mini made it to round of 16. Who will be our next two players moving on to round 16 from today's group? We're gonna have an interview with the four players. Hello. Hello everyone. Alright, we're gonna have an interview with the four players quickly before they get into today's match. First of all, hello Soulkey. Hello. Last season you finished your run in the round of 8, which you were a little bit probably disappointed with, but you kept making it at least to the round of 8, so this round 24 shouldn't be too difficult for you. Because the round 24 has always been easy for you. What do you think? You know, the round of 24 has always been quite easy for me, and even today I don't think that it's that hard of a group. But I still have a lot of pressure today. In what aspect, Soulkey? Well, there are players I cannot afford to lose to, so I guess there's some pressure to win. By that, do you mean your opponent in the first match? It's not the player though, it's because it's your favorite match of ZVZ, right? Yeah, that's right, it's because it's ZVZ. But you know, I can already tell from his expression that he's quite nervous ahead of today's match. Well, we can tell you're quite confident going into this match, Soulkey. How's your ZVZ win rate these days? Well, honestly, it's not that bad. My ZVZ win rate is better in tournaments, so I'm pretty confident. And now we're gonna have an interview with Calm, who will be playing against Soulkey in his first match. Hello, Calm. Hello. You're back in ASL after 8 seasons. Did you not miss the crowd and the cheer from the fans? Well, 4 years ago, I used to be a regular ASL player, but it's so hard to make your comeback once you hit like rock bottom. But since I made it here, I might as well destroy Soulkey while I'm at it. But you sound so natural in this interview. And it feels like you didn't take a break at all. So are you that confident going to today's match? Honestly, I got nothing to lose. We're going up against Rain and Soulkey, so C and I have absolutely nothing to lose. You can tell C has nothing to lose because he only practiced like 3 games. But I think I'm gonna get some scary builds from C today. But Calm, since it's your return in a long time, I'm sure you'd want to show a good performance to your fans. But you're going up against Soulkey in the first match, and he's a ZVZ expert. So when you checked out the matchup, were you kinda bitter about it? Once you confirmed that Soulkey was your opponent. I mean, when Soulkey was in his slump in terms of ZVZ, he learned a lot from me. I helped him with his growth. So I know what he's gonna do today. I know what he's gonna do in the first game. I can already like anticipate it. So Calm, you're saying that you were like kinda like the ZVZ teacher for Soulkey. Is it right? Not really. You know, it was just for fun. You know, I just needed a person to have a conversation with, play some game with, and that happened to be Calm. So you're saying that he didn't really help you grow as a player? Yeah, you could say that. And Calm just said that he anticipates everything you do. Well, likewise, I anticipate everything Calm's gonna do. It's like vice versa. I think this match is gonna be fantastic to watch, the first match. Alright, we're gonna talk with Rain now. Hello Rain. Hello. Season 13, you were the runner-up, and now you're back in ASL after 3 seasons. How do you feel? Well, I haven't played StarCraft in a long time, so my hands aren't all warmed up yet, but I'm really lucky to have become runner-up in Season 13. So you played in Season 8, you played in Season 13, and now you're back in Season 16.
초반에서 잘 안 풀린다라고 말씀하셨지만
So back in season 13, you mentioned that it's kind of hard to play because you haven't played the game for a long time. But can we see a better performance from you in season 16?
일단 그때는 근데 좀 운이 좋았던 것 같아요. 그리고
I think at the time I was really lucky to have come runner-up.
오늘도 민철이 형 밟고 올라가도록 하겠습니다.
And at the time it was round of 8. I beat Soulkey. So hopefully today Soulkey will lose to me again for my advancement to round of 16. So what is your goal for this season,
일단 오늘
Rain?
저는 솔직히 보성이 형이랑 유난히 형이 만만치 않은 상대라고 생각.
Well, honestly, I think Com and C are not easy opponents, to be honest.
해가지고 일단 오늘 이겨야지 조금 말할 수 있을
So first, I'm gonna have to win today to figure out what my next goal is gonna be. So you're saying that you can set your specific goal after today's match. Okay, Rain. And we have some familiar faces in Group B. And the last player we're gonna talk with is none other than C. Hello, C. Hello. You're back in ASL after 10 seasons. Wow. 10 seasons? Oh, it's been a long time. It must feel new for you. C, how are you feeling today? I'm in here after a long time and all the groups are looking interesting. I'm looking forward to my match. And there have been so many fans waiting for your return, C. And you and Rain have played against each other before, and the head-to-head record is 1 win, 1 loss between you two. I mean, back when I lost to Rain, it's because I threw the game, and the other time I won is because like I actually tried hard. So basically, it's like a 1-0 win for me. And all the 4 players in Group B are looking really confident today. Can you not group me and Com together? Because I have a better career high than Com. I went to round of 4. I was a runner-up in season 2 or something. I mean, you guys are sitting together, so how can I not like talk about you guys, right? Well, I think it's gonna be fun regardless. See, how was your preparation? Well, I did it in the Rift, in the Summoner's Rift. Actually, I was joking. I practiced a lot yesterday. Bisu helped me a lot. Bisu helped me so much. He knows what Rain's playstyle is like. But if I lose today, it's all Bisu's fault. If I win, well, it's because I played well. Then what is the probability that you're gonna advance today, C? In all honesty, I just want to get 1 win. Just 1 win. I'll try my best. And now we're gonna ask the fans questions to the players. I think this question was made because there are so many familiar faces in Group B. Okay, so the question is, what was your first impression of Group B? To Soulkey. Well, I don't think it's an easy group for sure, but I'm gonna try my best. Oh, so you think it's not an easy group, but you're still confident regardless. Alright, next question. The Group B players have experience winning other leagues, not just ASL. So this is kind of a group of death in terms of like career high. So see, you mentioned that you practice against Bisu yesterday. So how much practice did you do? Just 1 game. Just 1 game with Bisu. It's because my stream ended late. I only had time for 1 game. Even if it's just 1 game, I'm pretty sure you did a lot of image training, right? Oh yeah, I mean that 1 game was worth like 10 games. So yeah, no doubt. Alright, there's the next question. So I want to ask a question to the player. Who do you think is an easy opponent for you? A pushover, let's say. Well, there's this guy in our group, starting with S. the player with the initial S. He's a pushover, I'd say. He's a very easy opponent. I think it's gonna be a very easy win if I do play against him. Yeah.
만약 연보성 선수를 만나게 된다면 승자전에서 만나게 될
Then if you do play against C, do you think you'll play him in the winner's bracket or the loser's bracket? I mean, I'm going to the winner's bracket for sure, but I think C is going to the losers, so we might never see each other today. That's a possibility. So probability-wise, our encounter is gonna be not realized. So the next question is, compared to this certain player, I'm certainly better. So yeah, so you're superior to this player. Who would it be? I mean, I was gonna say Calm, but then Calm practiced so much this time. But since he practiced so much, I think he's gonna be quite pressured and feeling the nerves. So I think I have a more comfortable mindset going to the series. So you're saying that you're superior to Calm? Yeah, I guess I can say that. Alright, a very candid answer from Rain. I'm looking forward to this match already. And let's hear the player's resolution before we dive into the match. Soulkey, you first. I'll try to make it to round of 16. I mean, people say this is an easy group. I'll try not to let my guard down. I'll try my best till the end. I'll come back here for the second interview. I don't think you can. Oh well, there are so many fans here at the stadium. I'm already really scared of the co-streamers who's gonna be like talking bad about me because of my poor performance today. But I'm gonna try really hard. Well, thank you guys for your interview. And that will be all for the pre-match interview with the Group B players before we dive into the match. Thank you.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Group B here of the ASL, the round of 24. We just wrapped up Group A not long ago. Amazing day. And I think today could be just as good as, or even better. I don't know.
Yeah.
Terrible intro. How else can you open that? I'm like, and today I think might be considerably worse, but hopefully not. Sorry about that, guys.
It could be. Who knows? It could go either direction. Yeah, a very exciting day. A really packed studio as well as two big-time Korean streamers are going to be playing. Of course, pro gamers as well, right? So do not underestimate these guys. Rain, obviously one of the best Protosses ever. And then C, he is huge, man, and he was one of the best Terrans. Like he carried Terran on his shoulders for some time in Brood War.
Yeah, see, he always looks so young. I feel like he's one of the newer players, but the truth is he's been around forever. He's actually very old school. Definitely one of the players that I think performs better in these big studios. It should be a pretty close match. I think all the matches that we've got here should be pretty close. And already, in the round of 16 for the players who have advanced, I mean, we're getting the real cream of the crop. It seems like the better players are winning and moving on. And so I'm excited to just get started today and see where this goes.
Yeah, it looks like we even have Cadenzi in the audience here today. Everyone's showing up to see how this is going to go down. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're going to end up seeing today out of C. I think that's the big thing that people are tuning in for, is to see what type of shape he's in. Because, again, he was like a monster back in the days for Pro League. It just is such a very, very strong player. But more recently, he even gets into these little scandals and stuff, as all popular streamers do, because they're under such an eye of scrutiny, and they're making all of this content they're trying to get to be entertaining, but it's like I don't feel like I have any idea of how good he is right now.
I have no clue where he's at. Live streaming is quite a different beast. A lot of people, everybody's got their own approach to it, right? And he definitely. Some players, they get more into the variety stuff. They get into the IRL streams. They're going through the city. Seoul, a lot of these cities in Japan, you can just basically make a living, wandering through the city and filming yourself, and it It diverges from video games. So I don't know where he's at either. I mean, I don't think it's the hardest thing for him to get back into shape, but this is a really tough group. I mean, Calm, maybe the weaker player of the 4 that we've got, but even Calm is an extremely strong player, and you don't want to count him out. Soulkey's been in the ASL with us forever. He was in StarCraft 2 with us for a long time, crushing there. And kind of funny to have Soulkey and Rain both here, as they are the 2 guys who have basically made it the furthest in both StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 1. And here they are, likely to duke it out here in Group B. So kind of an exceptional group. C is, I would say, in some ways more storied in StarCraft 1. He's had incredible highs. Really, even pre-StarCraft 2, this guy was a giant. I don't know how he's going to compare to Rain or Soulkey. And look, Rain, I mean, I've always been a huge fan of the way this guy plays. He makes Protoss look easier than I think anybody else who plays Protoss. Yeah. And so there's always, at least for me as a student of the race Protoss, there's always going to be something for me to learn here.
For sure. I definitely agree with that. I think that Rain is... Well, you said it, right? Rain and Soulkey are the 2 most successful double StarCraft players that there are. They're just... No one really compares. You know, when Kespa switched over, everyone was talking about Soulkey. And Rain actually came out of the gates as a little bit stronger, but Soulkey as well. They both GSL champions. They're both champions in StarCraft 1 as well. They're unbelievably strong players. You know, Soulkey had the first reverse all-kill in GSL Codex Finals history against Innovation, nonetheless, and Rain is the first teamless pro gamer ever to win GSL. There's some crazy stuff. They're just both so strong. So definitely, I would say the favorites here. But yeah, I would actually really like to see them play against each other and see what type of shape Rain is truly into, because I'm not sure. Because he, sometimes he plays in ASL and sometimes he doesn't. And when he does, he'll just, casually go into the round of 4 pretty easily, it seems.
Yeah, he's always understood Protoss in a way that's been very safe and very clean. And he does a lot of cool, I think, tricky maneuvers strategically and tactically in the mid game. But first, we're going to be starting the evening off here with a ZVZ. Soulkey, we've talked about the fact that, it does seem like this is his weaker matchup. I guess the statistics don't lie either, although I think when you watch his play, it's not just about getting wins or losses. I think if you look at him versus Protoss and Terran, he's such a beast. If this guy could, I think, wrap his head around ZVZ a little bit better like Jaedong has in the past, I think this guy would be someone we would regularly see as an ASL champion. And the fact that it's going to be a ZVZ right away, I mean, who knows? Maybe he loses in an upset here.
It's a real possibility, but he is quite talented to be 21-21 and have a 50.9% win rate. That's pretty impressive.
I didn't even notice that. That's so funny.
Yeah, no, that's kind of crazy. I'm like, wow, no one else can do that, Soulkey. That's pretty amazing.
That's so funny.
And then we have Calm over here. We haven't really talked about Calm, but we should. He's actually really super high on the ladder. He's been hitting #1 on the ladder pretty regularly lately.
Yeah.
So he's certainly in very good shape. Obviously, his win percentages you see here, not that fantastic, but Calm is strong. He's strong. He's in good shape at the moment. He's been practicing a lot for this. I don't want to underestimate him at all. I think that there is a very reasonable chance he makes an upset, and I don't think it's a huge upset, but I think, if he beats Rain or Soulkey and advances, that's not outside the realm of possibility at all.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. He's definitely the underdog, but if he wins, it's not the craziest thing either, right? I would just say he's maybe the weakest here, but, I mean, this phase especially of ASL, it's pretty brutal, man. I mean, just one game. It's very, and ZVZ as well, it's very sharp around the edges in the early games. So, I mean, let's see what happens with these two. And I guess, the match that everybody's probably thinking about is just around the corner here. I mean, that's going to be another interesting battle to see here with Rain versus C. But for now, I don't know, man. I would say Soulkey, maybe 65% favored here, but Calm could do it for sure.
Yeah. It's, ZVZ, a lot of it does come down to those early openers, early build orders to see who's going to have that bit of an edge, and then, what tactics can you do as the other player to try to circumnavigate maybe the advantage they may have by having an additional drone or two from getting their pool a bit later, that type of thing. But yeah, you know, I do like Soulkey's ZVZ overall, but as you said before, like if it wasn't for this matchup, I honestly think he would have probably like 3 championships by now. There's been a lot of times, like a lot of times, man, in the last, how long has Remaster been out? 6 years or something?
Yeah, I think that's right.
In the last 6 years, there's been many times where Soulkey's been number 2 in the world to Flash. Like, where he's been, like, the guy other than Flash. And then it's, like, either Flash or a Zerg takes him out. And it's like, damn, that's rough. You know, that is a problem with ZVZ.
Yeah, well, you know, every new season of ASL, it's an opportunity to turn a new page. And let's see what kind of ZVZ he's got, because we're getting right into Group B here as Game 1 is ready. This is Soulkey versus Calm, a fight to see who goes on to the winner's match of Group B here in the ASL. And by the way, it's ASL Season 16. I saw it on the... Well, I think when I posted on the Patreon, I think I said ASL Season 2, because now in GSL, they go by, like, the year. They go, like, Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. But with ASL, they're numbering it for, like, every single ASL that's happened.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. I just now as we zoomed in on the 16, I just realized that. Anyways, guys, we've got...
a new tournament.
Anyways, we've got Soulkey in the bottom left. We've got Calm in the bottom right. Yeah. Let's get into this and see what they got.
Going to be our map. And yeah, 3-player maps, so Soulkey going to send his first Overlord in the wrong direction. A little bit annoying. Calm will have a little edge for that, but let's just see what build orders that they're going to open with. Of course, huge amount of fans in that audience today. Absolutely packed in there.
Yeah, we've got some big streamers in the audience. You know, streaming has made such an impact in the esports system in general. It's kind of an interesting thing that where you have some of these like professional players that their streams get so big, it's like they make more money streaming now. It almost doesn't make sense to compete. And I think it's also really helped facilitate the revival of StarCraft 1 in Korea, but also around the world, because now, you know, if all the ASL players stream, right? So if you become a fan of one of them, you can hang out in their chat, you can ask them questions about their matches or about, you know, what they're practicing, or maybe you're trying to learn and you can talk to them, and it's really been a good thing, I think, overall for esports. And, you know, one thing that people oftentimes remark on that I personally find a little bit silly is people are like, oh, well, they don't live in pro houses anymore, so they're not as good, or they're not, you know. And the truth is, I think the pro house thing was so much worse for players long term. Living, you know, you're all sharing a room and you're in bunk beds, and maybe some people find that idea kind of cool and attractive, but like the quality of life was just so much worse. And now you have players that can basically be their kind of like free agents. You know, they can make money directly from fans. I like this era with streaming kind of backing professional players, and I know that for a fact that the players prefer it as well. And I think as a fan, even, it's cooler because you can actually really do a deep dive into following your favorite player. You know, and yeah, so that's my take on it.
Yeah, no, it's 100% a fact. Like, I mean, I lived in a pro house for over a year, and if you ask any of them, every single one prefers it now. Every single pro. And it's not like they're getting worse, right? They are better. Maybe they would get better quicker in those pro house situations. But you know, this is a better time, man. Being able to see these guys play live, you can watch as many games of your favorite player as you want. But right now we have a Zergling rush coming over towards Soulkey's very fast hatchery. So he is going to be able to start 6 lings, but is he going to be able to save this hatchery?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the lings have started pretty late, Tastosis. Drones are going to be pulled, and this is going to be a bit of a high-wire act, trying to micro these drones and not lose any of them. The hatchery is a little bit under halfway on its HP. I think that he's already going to get a kill on one. This is really bad right now for Soulkey. He's just going to focus fire down the hatchery. So the hatchery is killed. Ling speed's done. The body blocking's actually insane here. From Soulkey, and he isolates about 2 or 3 Zerglings, but again, losing that production, I mean, that's pretty difficult now to recover. It's Ling speed versus slow Lings now. Speed Lings do beat slow Lings. If they're just slightly ahead in numbers, they win by a considerable amount.
This is terrible for Soulkey. I think that Calm here, his layer's so fast, he can literally just go home and make the Zergling conga line at his choke. And what are you going to do as Soulkey? You don't have more larva than your opponent. You know, like, he has to go into Evolution Chamber. He can't bust with Zerglings. As long as you play like carefully, here's Calm, he cannot bust you. And without the layer even started, this game is pretty damn over.
Yeah, I mean, and in fact, Calm's going to lean into this. And, I mean, the position's not bad for Soulkey, but I think that there's like maybe 2 more Lings to start the fight, and that's usually enough to start to really snowball it. You can see, once you start to win the fight with Speed Lings, it gets brutal. And he's actually going to get stuck back here. I guess this is a more favorable position than being out in the open, but like, I think we're almost to the end of this game, Tastosis. In fact, it almost looks like Soulkey's ready to tap out. As Calm opening up with that, there it is, GG, okay. All right, well, man.
That was a fast one. This is the loudest I've ever heard the crowd, by the way. Ever. Like, and it's over a ZVZ that's like completely one side. It's like, it's over, yes, guys, there's a little rock, paper, scissors.
I talked more about the history of streaming in team houses than the game itself. It ended so fast.
Yeah.
Look, it did seem like, I don't know if Soulkey squeezed out maybe an extra drone. But yeah, I mean, Calm, I can't say I blame him for being aggressive. Sometimes you can win outright with that. It seemed like when the first drone fell and then the hatchery took enough damage, there wasn't a very good position for Soulkey to take a fight, and so he couldn't, so he lost the hatch. And then he tried to reclaim the hatch, but he didn't have Zergling speed, and he had less Zerglings.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, that is too many things going wrong for you.
Calm looks like he's still in the game right now. Like Soulkey's left, but he's like actually still playing against Soulkey right now. This is an odd shot. Well, I mean, that's ZVZ, and by the way, we talked about the fact that Soulkey does seem to suffer and struggle in this matchup. Today is no exception.
Yeah, and he's going to lose that 50.9% win rate, and at 21-22, maybe he'll fall to 50% now. But Calm is like, he's actually the most focused I may have ever seen him here. Like, maybe, I feel like, he has been playing a lot. He's been up at the top of the ladder, so I think he's taking this really seriously, right? Like, he does not want to go on that round of 24, and he goes to the winner's match, so a great start for him here tonight.
Yeah. Big win here. Like we said, Calm could win this. I think Soulkey on paper, he looks better, but here we are. Short break, guys, and when we come back, it's going to be Rain versus C, a PVT that should be longer. We'll see you in a minute.
우주급 텐션, 최고의 토킹, 핫식스 토킹.
너도 탐세봐, 탐세로.
여름이 왔다. 마음껏 청량하자. 청량한 순간에 언제나 칠성사이다. 똑같은 하루에서 답답함을 빼면 더 청량해질 거야. 제로처럼. 우리 없어도 되는 건 빼고 살자. 칠성사이다 제로.
레전드 국가대표 손호찬님 모셨습니다. 반갑습니다. 스트리머의 입장으로서는 BJ 입장에서는 아프리카 사람 다 됐네. 오늘 작정하고 왔구나. 10원, 1,000원, 막 3겹. 아프리카의 심장에서 아프리카 얘기를 하는 거야.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed those commercials. I know we did, Artosis. Okay, so I'm still getting used to the rhythm of the show. I guess this would be the part where we plug the Patreon now, if they're going to put us on camera. Guys, go to patreon.com/ASL English, and please support the cause here, because without people like you, we wouldn't be able to do this.
That is a fact. Thank you very much, guys, for supporting thus far. ASL is still going so strong. As you guys can see, it's got huge audiences. StarCraft's still one of the biggest streamed games in Korea on AfreecaTV. And honestly, like I'm so happy. I feel so relaxed that Brood War is just never going to go away. It's never going to go away, Taste. It's our favorite game.
Yeah.
We're really lucky about this because a lot of people get games that are their favorite game and they will eventually die. And that's just not going to happen here. So a big thanks, everyone, for supporting the Patreon, and do check that out at ASL English.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how happy I am to see StarCraft 1 doing as well as it's doing. This is actually the #1 thing to what you were saying, Artosis, that AfreecaTV produces. It gets by far the best viewership.
Wow.
Tickets sell out almost every time. And so, yeah, guys, we appreciate the support. We love you guys. Thank you for helping us keep the history of StarCraft alive in the present and the future. Continuing onward, we very much are grateful. So we're going to go into what has to be a longer match than what we just casted. I will tell you, man, there's nothing... CVZ, when it ends really fast, there's nothing quite as weird when you're an esports caster and you spend all this time building up to a game that might end in 3 minutes. You know?
I know, yeah. ZVZ is so funny like that. Well, luckily we are going into a different matchup here. We're going to have Rain. This guy... Honestly, like, I think he is the smartest Protoss player that we've ever had in StarCraft 1. It's hard to explain exactly, but like you were saying that when you watch him play, it's like he makes Protoss look easy. And I definitely agree. Like, I look at the way he plays, I'm like, oh, why doesn't everyone play like that? You know?
Yeah, if you look at all the great Protoss players we've had, like, you take someone like Mini, right? He's really abusive. He's really tricky. He's kind of he's kind of a dirty, sneaky Protoss, the kind that you love to hate, but you also love watching him cheese out other players and do crazy stuff. You get somebody, let's take it like StarCraft 2 as an example. Stats is really conservative, always very safe, very good at doing what he's doing. You get Bisu, who's very standard and good at engaging constantly with the opponent. Rain's style is very different. It's like he plays very clean early on, but he a lot of times does something very smart. Like, it's almost like it's obvious after the fact. He'll do something that's really tricky that, if the player can't get ready for it in time, just wins the game. And what's also funny about him is that, like he can cheese, but he's definitely one of the less cheesy Protosses. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and he always was in StarCraft 2 as well. Like, he really showed the way of the macro path after many years of aggression. And of course, his opponent, C, has been to the finals, was a Pro League monster, a huge streamer nowadays. And I gotta say, one of the nicest pro gamers. When I first moved to Korea, I used to go out for beers with him pretty regularly.
Yeah,
he was one of the more social, cooler, nicer pros out there. So a lot of appreciation for this guy, and I hope he can put up a good game here.
All right, guys, we're going to go into our second game of the evening, a PvT, Rain versus C. See who goes on to face off against Calm in the winner's match. Okay, so we got... sorry. Oh, God. Start the cast over. Why we're running over each other. Rain in the bottom right, C in the top center. And Artosis, that time, we went out and drank with C a couple times, got some beers or soju with him. Was I there for one of those? Because I also ended up, I think, once or twice having drinks with C.
You were there. Yeah, I've done it several times when back in the very early days when I first moved there. But yeah, you were there a few times too.
Yeah. No, that's C's a lot of fun. I really like the guy. He's probably one of my favorite pros I've drank with out there. He's a cool dude.
I can definitely see, like, looking back at those times with him, I could see how he, out of all the StarCraft pros, became like the really big streamer. He always had a big personality and like was very outgoing, which I think obviously helps him in that regard.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, Rain here as well. This guy is a just massive streamer. I actually saw him, I think briefly, was it an IRL stream? I can't remember. I bumped into him randomly in Gangnam. Like walking, we both like looked, we saw each other across the street and did like the quick Korean bow. But Rain's stream is also blown up. And he basically won an ASL and then like stopped StarCraft for a while and was building his stream up. But I'm very happy that he's back here. Rain is a guy you really have to consider that he could take the whole thing.
For sure.
And I do think that honestly Rain is probably heavily favored here against C, even though I think C can put up a good fight.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely hoping that he can. One thing to mention, right? Like Rain, he is a champion in StarCraft 2. He's a champion in StarCraft 1. He plays this different style that makes it look easy. One of the things that, because I felt this way really strongly when he returned to StarCraft 1, because I have so much respect for what he did in StarCraft 2. He was like the most important StarCraft 2 Protoss for a very long time. Like he was the guy that showed people that you could play a defensive macro game, whereas everything at that point had been attacking, right? That was like shown by MC. So I really felt like he could come back and do well, and then he's done unbelievably well in StarCraft 1, and like, you know, with his own style, with a different approach than all the others. And then I found out he's actually one of Flash's closest friends. And this kind of clicked in my head, Tasteless, because they were not even on the same team back in the Kespa days. They were on actually rival teams, but they're very, very close friends. And I was like, of course that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rain is the smartest Protoss player. And I think, you know, sometimes you get someone like Flash who's such a level above everyone, and like in my mind at least, I'm like, maybe this is one of the only guys that actually understands what the hell is going on in Flash's brain, you know, and that's why they're so close.
One thing to add on to that is that it really did seem like Protoss was destabilized in StarCraft 2 after Rain left.
Yes.
Like he was one of the pros where when he stopped playing StarCraft 2, it actually left like a hole.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when he came back in StarCraft 1, you know, a lot of StarCraft 2 people were saying, we're like, what do you mean the guy that won all the StarCraft 2 stuff is winning StarCraft 1, or the StarCraft 1 player is not that good? And it's like, no. This guy's like really, this is like now the most accomplished RTS player along with Soulkey to get that far in 2 different titles. Real quick here in this game, we are possibly going to see a push or a run by. I actually thought there was a bunker here. There's not. So this is a little bit scary. The
yeah,
Dragoon,
as long
the
as he has
Zealot,
a Vulture about to pop, he should be able to push this back. Like, I know he's making the 4th Marine. That's incredibly important. But where is that Vulture? The Vulture should be out by now. I think he went add-on, which is, like, too greedy, man. Oh, my God. Look at this. The Zealot going to get on top of some of these Marines. Oh,
my God.
This is not good, Tasteless.
So bad. The Dragoon can kill the SCVs that are producing. The Zealot is just going to continue to charge forward here. And, I mean, if this bunker doesn't finish, then there's really no way to actually get anything back over here. I mean, he's going to kill that SCV. The Marines actually could be killed. Oh, my God, he canceled the command center. Oh, my God.
He meant to cancel the bunker, and he canceled the command center. This is the most embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed right now, Tasteless, that my face is turning red.
I'm blushing. Yeah, I'm blushing.
I feel so bad for him. This is this could not have been worse.
The ghost of Hydra just appeared in front of my PC.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, I don't want to, like, sugarcoat this. That is
so bad.
The worst thing I've, like, at this pro level, this is the worst thing that I've ever seen. Like, you can't cancel your command center and win the game. Now, he's going to get kills on Dragoons, so, like, that's something. But without any question, he must produce nonstop out of the barracks and the factory, and he must attack. Rain knows this. He's going 3-gate with Robo. Like, all Rain has to do is hold this push.
Yep. The only thing I think that I've ever seen that's worse than this is a misplaced Nexus when Protoss fast expands. That's the only thing I can think of that's worse. Basically, when you cancel the command center, I mean, you're behind so insanely that it's almost worth leaving the game. I mean, this is a tournament, so like, and it's a best of one, so you might as well, you know, give it the good old college try. But yeah, I mean, this is so catastrophic. And now he's going to get, well, I don't think he's going to quite kill the tank. Oh, Rain's so good. He's like, I just know this exactly, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Don't worry, Tastosis.
Don't worry about this, Tastosis. How about you just go yap your mouth, talk about the game, and let Rain
Go catch some more
micro.
ZVZ, Tastosis.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Yeah. Go talk about team houses versus streaming, Tasteless. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for C, but you know, maybe one game out of a whole year of ASL, this happens. You lose the command center, so you can't expand. You lose 100 minerals.
Yeah.
Like,
and just the time,
it's
right? So
yeah.
that was like 3/4 done. So you're going to lose all the SCVs that you would have made in that time as well.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
and all the minerals they would have
yeah.
gathered to make the factories and all the other things you needed. And Rain has basically not missed a beat. He's already deflected the attack. His Nexus is going to start over here. And look, I mean, I get what's going on with C here, right? I mean, first of all, you have the literal embarrassment of everybody seeing that that's a mistake. Yeah. Not that you were out microed, but that you selected the wrong building and hit escape to cancel. But at the same time, I mean, it's a best of one. You are one of the best Terrans in the world. I mean, I guess give it your best, but you're against a player who pretty much doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, from this type of position, like, if you want the game to have a chance of getting close, like, C just has to, like, do turtle macro. That's it, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, even then, you can see Rain is just running in because he knows the map on all of this, where it's like, well, you already lost 2 tanks. And, you know, there's just... honestly, at any point when there it is. You cannot blame C for a GG here. Like, when he can't... First off, it should have been a Vulture expand, okay? He tried to go add-on, but he didn't make the bunker quickly. And if your opponent goes Zealot Dragoon, that's why Vulture expand exists, where you make Vulture before add-on. Because if you have the Vulture, you make the 4th Marine, you hold that. Yeah, but if it's just Marines, you have literally no chance, and you take so much damage, it's insane. Like, every single time I try to do that, Tasteless, I then shake my head. I'm like, why am I going against something everyone knows?
Yeah, C is visibly frustrated, literally red in the face after a loss like that. And his story's not done. I mean, he's got to go to the losers match, but I mean, those bad feelings, they can be a little bit sticky, you know, going into the next match. It takes a couple minutes to get the jitters out of your system, right? But in that moment, I mean, canceling the command center, it kind of put him in a position where he had to try to engage. Rain just parries that engage so beautifully, and then the counterattack, literally, he just walks in, shoots the tanks down. Game over. We do have a very exciting match coming up next. It is going to be Calm versus Rain.
Calm versus Rain could be a really, really good one. Calm is in great shape, and I think Rain's PVZ is extremely good in a very different style than what we see from most players.
All right, guys, we're going to go to a break. Coming up next, the winners match, which, again, I hope is a little bit longer than these last 2 games.
우주급 텐션 최고의 토킹 핫식스 토킹.
너도 탐세봐 탐세로.
여름이 왔다. 마음껏 청량하자. 청량한 순간에 언제나 칠성사이다.
똑같은 하루에서 답답함을 빼면 더 청량해질 거야. 제로처럼. 우리 없어도 되는 건 빼고 살자. 칠성사이다 제로.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. ASL continues on. I need a longer game. Okay, the last two games, those weren't games. That was just drama. Okay? The Rush came out and just murdered Soulkey. The command center was accidentally canceled, and I'll tell you what, it's good TV. It is some real drama to watch, but I would like to see some actual technical games here. I think we can get this here with Calm versus Rain. I'm personally thinking from Calm's perspective, I mean, how much is he tempted to cheese here? Because I think we all can agree that Rain is a real tough guy to go against. Yeah. Very solid in this matchup. Again, he makes it look so easy. How is Calm going to play this?
Well, you know, we're going to Invader, right? And we saw that PVZ yesterday between Soma and Mini here. And so it seems like a pretty interesting PVZ map. You do have the two ramps, which just being ramps in general does make it harder to Hydra bust. But of course, with the two entrances, Zerglings are a bit more dangerous. So it's going to be interesting to see how Rain wants to play against that. And just the fact that you have two ways to get out, it felt, you know, when we were watching yesterday, Tastosis, like there was a real chance for a big macro game if Mini wasn't wasting his army. And I feel like Rain is the type of player who will identify that. And so I'm telling you, I think we're going to have a nice big macro game here.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I need to have some longer StarCraft games here. Again, the winner of this does escape to the round of 16. The loser will face off against one of the two players that manages to survive that loser's match. But Rain looking extremely strong. Calm, we got a little glimpse of him playing there against Soulkey, but it was a very one-sided, victory with a rush. I guess we really got to see how Rain decides to open up on this map. You already said it, Artosis. Two entrances can be very tricky in PvZ. And we've already saw some problems with trying to control these entrances earlier on here, just the other day.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility that Calm can make something happen with that. We'll see if Rain goes for that Forge fast expansion or tries his hand at Zealots. Excited to see how it plays out. I'm actually, Invader as a map in general, I'm kind of excited about this season. It's very interesting for a two-player map.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this map. I want to see a couple more games on it before I really have a full take, but I think that a map like this is an important one to have in a tournament. It can definitely make for some interesting games. PvZ, I haven't fully unpacked on this. We did see Mini kind of fumble the ball, so to speak, when he tried to push on here. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of bases for Zerg to take easily, which means Zerg might have to try to speed up the whole pace of the game and try to close it out in a different way. Two ramps also means it's a lot harder to contain the Protoss, especially in the last 2 seasons of ASL. We did see the resurgence of the contain style, especially on maps like Vermeer and even occasionally on Polypoid, but a map like Invader does allow for an exit almost always. So, a lot of cool ideas here. I think especially in the matchup PvZ, I'm really interested in seeing how this pans out.
Yeah, I feel like PvZ and TVP are both going to be really interesting on Invader. So, just having multiple paths that the contained player can get out through makes it like, oh wow, how are you going to shift your army around the map? And we did see like some masterful play from Soma yesterday against Mini, right, where you had the group of Hydras on one side and then it came in for a flank, even though it was on like more of a defensive position. So definitely some really interesting army movements have been occurring here. And I think we're just about ready to get into this one.
Yeah, we should be hopping into this game in a second, just waiting for the players to confirm that they're ready. And we'll be going into this, all right? It's time. We all know this camera shot. We're going to be going into the winner's match now. This is a PvZ, Calm versus Rain. We'll get to that round of 16 in the 16th season of ASL. Wow, look at that. Look at that crowd, man. You can really hear the energy of the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, my dad visited Korea, and I brought him to the studio. And I gotta tell you, I never actually was in the studio when I wasn't working, so I didn't quite know what it felt like. When we're doing it live, Artosis, we have the headsets on, we're in whatever clothes they're gonna make us wear. But yeah, it is quite an experience actually seeing a match in person, like in the studios that they have built now, and kind of how it's like there's like a level of movie theater quietness at times, but it's still the booming sound of. I guess what I mean to say is that the people are being very quiet, but you know the game sounds are so loud, and you can really like just get sucked into the game and enjoy it and listen to commentary if you want, or you know just kind of chat with your friends as the games are going on. But definitely, if you can, guys, go check out a live match at the studio. It's a very cool experience.
Yeah, I think so. You know, I haven't been to like a live Africa event as a spectator because I always worked, but. You know, when I first moved there, definitely I checked out like some Pro League matches and stuff like that, and that was, I mean, the energy level just there's such a cool feeling, and you know, I just went to that LAN in New York and everything, and the same feeling persists when you're around people that like the same thing you like, because I think people that are really into something like StarCraft, you generally don't have that many people in your real life that really get what you're doing, you know? For sure, yeah.
By the way, we had a kind of funny interaction at the start of this game. He's drone blocked the entrance, but he's not four pooling or anything weird like that. But he's definitely creating some uncertainty here for Rain. Rain's going to see the hatchery down here now. He hasn't, with his own vision, confirmed that there's a pool or not. But, you know, when you send the probe out right away, you're basically trying to figure, oh, did he cancel the forge? I think he did.
He did. Wow. You're right. And actually, Calm gets the probe. You can see what type of shape Calm really is in. Like, he was on top of blocking that. And look at this. He's going to go 3 hatch.
Dude, this is wild. Okay, I don't think I've ever casted 3 hatch versus Nexus first. Let's go.
Dude, that's crazy. Calm, like, really has tricked him out here.
By the way, 3 hatches, like, this was tinkered with in like 1998 and thrown in the garbage can. Like 3 hatch is just not really a thing, but under the circumstances in this game, I think this works. He's gonna see now. I don't know if Rain even has a 3rd hatch timing mapped out exactly. I don't know if you look at that and go, your pool didn't start yet, or didn't start, you know, until after the 3rd hatch started. Is what I mean to say.
I think Rain has a good idea.
Oh my god! Well. Now he knows 100%. So, you know, a lot of games we have both players play standard, or one plays greedy, the other plays standard, or we have somebody rushing. Very rarely do we have 2 players both playing greedy. And this creates a really interesting opening because there's going to be a lot of corners that can be cut on both sides since nobody can actually attack the other. But this is, you know, even at the high levels, this is rarely a situation that you're actually getting to practice, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how each side approaches this, what corners are going to be cut, how quickly things can be cranked out. Did Rain get a cannon, I wonder?
Yes. Yes, he did.
Okay, it's going to finish now. So, it's a pretty late cannon. I mean, he's got the core on the way. A lot of probes can be pushed out here. It looks like he did take 1 off gas, by the way. So he's only mining with 2 on gas. But yeah, these guys are going to get right into the macro play really quickly.
Yeah, they certainly are. Look at that. Even a macro hatch already starting and a Hydralisk den. So 4 hatch Hydra?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. The other thing, too, is you can make the den and maybe even try to scare them into making more cannons here. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a very early macro hatch here.
Yeah, I normally don't see a macro hatch quite that quickly. Normally it's like, okay, we're saving up, but for the Hydra bust, or we're getting a layer. And in this case, like, I guess getting the 2 hatches so quickly, you have so many larvae, you're able to get so many drones out. Maybe that's what we're seeing here from Calm. And look at that nice micro against the Zealot. Trying to push this back. Definitely doesn't want to let him see that there's a Hydra den.
Yeah, he's set to, well, I guess he spots it now with the probe. But the other Zealot has come down here to this base now. And, you know, Rain has the right idea with the slow drip of Zealots. It's possible that Calm, even though he had a very cool opening that, you know, in air quotes worked, right? He got the 3rd hatch up. It does seem like he underestimated the fact that the Zealots, 1 by 1, could still come out and do quite a bit of damage. And, you know, he needs the Zealots to basically confirm that there's no Hydras coming. There are Hydras coming, by the way. And you know, he saw the den. I don't know if that means Calm's going to just not really make more than 1 to 2 Hydras and try to macro up. But yeah, an interesting game so far. I'm really glad we had an opening like this because this is kind of fun to explore with the audience. What exactly does this game look like as it moves along?
Also, I want to point out the drone micro there was almost flawless. He did end up losing 1 drone against the Zealot pressure, but like he was attacking until the final hit and pulling away. And drones are very low health, so it's only 3 hits. And to see him time that out perfectly, again, this is all pointing towards Calm being in fantastic shape at the moment. You know, he's brought a build that we don't really normally see now. He's getting up into 5 hatcheries. He's very heavy on drones, has a few Hydras out. I am absolutely loving what we're seeing here from Calm. This is some very, very cool macro play.
Yeah, the Corsair will come in here and scout all this out. We're going to have Templars coming out shortly as the Templar Archive should be finishing. And, you know, an interesting start here. It looks like we're going to end up in kind of a standard position. Zerg's going to keep producing Hydralisks. We're going to get another cannon here at the entrance, but we're going to see the Protoss tech into Zealot High Templar here. And again, remember, excuse me, remember, guys, this is a map where you have 2 entrances, so Lurker Contains can't really be as much of a thing. Instead, it seems like the Zerg is going to have to, you know, maybe rely on drops or other kinds of counterattacks to mitigate growth here for the Protoss. As it does seem like the Protoss has a lot more opportunities to kind of roam the map and push as we get into the middle of the game here.
Well, definitely Rain is going to have to get up into his Psystorm pretty quickly. He has a DT out on the map. But yeah, just the macro that's coming out of Calm right now is pretty scary. Like, that's a lot of Hydras. He's got a ton of drones. Look at his supply already here, 56. But he does get supply blocked there for a moment.
Yeah, now the Hydras are going to come up. I don't see any Templars here.
Dude, is he just straight dead?
Well,
he's got a DT.
We talked about the ebb and flow of the game, right? And it does seem like the Hydras came a little bit sooner than basically Rain was ready for. Oh my God, he's going to lose the DT. If he loses the DT, I think this, oh my God, is this just going to be another quick loss? He's got probes to try to plug up this entrance. He does have a DT on the move over here. This is big. Rain, if he can just hang on back in his natural, he can continue to do a lot of damage here. The Hydras kill the gateway, and therefore the cannons are going to fall as well. Where is that Psystorm? He's going to try to run up the ramp.
Oh man, so much damage being dealt. A ton of probes being sent down to that natural base, and the DT did slip in. He's gotten a ton of kills, but the Storms are not ready. And it just, like, even though he's killing just about every drone, it doesn't matter.
What an ending. Okay, so the cannons weren't there in time. The cannons, by the way, weren't even the best place. We could, this is definitely a reminder this is a new map. When you have, a couple of cannons sticking out towards the front, it's easy for the Hydras to run up and shoot them down. The audience is going nuts. The underdog of Group B, which looked to be one of the toughest groups of any ASL ever, the Calm gets out first. This is why.
That is very nice for Calm. All that hard work definitely paying off. What a great build coming out of him, a great strategy. And Rain just unable to hold it. It's wild, too, because Rain was dealing insane damage across. So if Rain had been able to just deflect those Hydras and get his cannons up, he would have been so far ahead with the amount of drone kills his DTs were getting.
We got to go back to that early moment in the game where, it was 3 hatches right away. Rain found out a little bit later. It did seem to change the progression a little bit. Normally a Hydra pressure that comes out, that's designed to force cannons before they get more gateways. So normally the 4 cannons are there and you defend it and the game goes on, whatever. But the fact that I think the Hydras got there a little bit earlier than Rain was ready for. Storm hadn't finished, apparently. Templars weren't there in numbers they should have been at. And so Calm pierces through the mid-game, shuts Rain down, and he is now the 3rd player we have surviving and moving on up into the round of 16.
Yeah, that is a great result for him here. And just taking a quick look at that replay, you can see the DT that kind of slips by here. Luckily for Calm, he did have this other Overlord coming in, which kind of ended up saving the day. But yeah, look at that. The cannon's not quite ready. Psystorm absolutely not ready. Very tough here for Rain to defend.
He either didn't get it or the upgrade just finished.
He had 80 energy on the last High Templar that was picked off. And it's hard to imagine him looking anywhere else at that moment. So I'm not entirely sure. Like, maybe he did forget it. Maybe it was just a little bit late.
Yeah. If he did forget it, I mean, this is like one of my games that I stream. I have forgotten Psystorm
Well,
many times. It's unbelievable, but
yeah, that would be quite a mistake. You know, looking at that C game the same way, I'm like, well, not even I cancel my command center, man. So these guys, definitely some big mistakes here today.
yeah. Well, there it is. I mean, yeah, he never chucked the storm out. I do feel like even when you lose the game, you cast the storm, right? Don't we all do that?
Yep.
Don't we cast the storm even when we're dead? Isn't that like one of the things we do?
Yep.
All right, we're going to go to an interview now with Calm. Let's see how he's feeling. He has overcome all odds. He has survived the Group B insane group and is now going to be moving on to the round of 16.
하식스와 함께하는 ASL 시즌 16.
We have the first winner of Group B. And the first player to move on to the round of 16 is none other than Calm. A big surprise. The return of the Brainzerg. Congratulations. Thank you. Wow. The cheer, the applause from the fans. Are you soaking up the cheer right now? Well, I'm so happy right now. Honestly, I worked so hard to hear this cheer. And there goes another applause from the fans. In the pre-match interview, you mentioned that you'll be here for the second interview. And you are back for the second interview. And now you move on to round of 16 after taking a 8-season hiatus. How are you feeling? I'm not crying right now. I'm not tearing up. But after the match is over, I'm becoming really nervous. But you know, as a whole, I was really lucky today. In the match against Rain, I deliberately hit my 3 overlords to go for the timing rush, and I think that's why I won. Well, you speak very humbly, Calm. But everything seemed to pan out the way you expected, like you said. Even the match against Soulkey, it seemed like you knew what he was gonna do, and that's what you said in the pre-match interview. He went for the natural, and then you went for the speed up Zerglings right away, and then just took him down. Honestly, I didn't know what he was gonna do. I just said that without any evidence. I was just really lucky today. But in the match against Rain, your drone micro, your worker micro was fantastic. Everybody was surprised, and it seemed like you were in peak form. And did you feel like that your micro was good today? Not really. I mean, I was doing my settings, and then the Windows OS verification thing kept popping up. So that was really annoying. Well, I mean, Calm, you're really renowned for your mind games, and we can definitely tell what you are from today's match. And can we just like keep expecting these kinds of builds as you go on? Well, I mean, the only thing I can rely on is my brain. And you know, I trick my opponent into thinking that the 2 units is it, but there's actually an extra unit hiding somewhere. So you know, in terms of mind games, I think I'm definitely superior compared to most players. Well, Calm, you're back after a long time. I'm sure you want to show good performance to your fans. So how's your resolution like? Well, this season, the group nomination was my goal, was my objective. But I'm now gonna be attending the group nomination. There's mine there, there's JYJ. I'm going to practice really hard so that I'm not like a easy prey going into the group nomination. Well, we'll definitely look forward to it, Calm. And any closing thoughts and any message to your fans? Well, there are so many people who help me with practice. Best, Motive, Paralyze, Art User, Snow, Hero, Mini. And Hero Mini, they help me so much every time. So I'm ever so grateful to them. And as a matter of fact, Mini, he sent me like a chicken coupon a few hours ago. saying that he's really thankful to me for helping him practice. But actually, I was just doing my own practice. I wasn't trying to help him out or anything. So that's kind of odd. Yeah. For the others, I'll try to give a special shout out on my stream or something. Once again, thank you guys for your support. Well, we look forward to your performance in the round 16, Calm. Thank you. And that'll be all for the first winner's interview with Calm in Group B.
우주급 텐션 최고의 토킹 핫식스 토킹.
너도 탐세봐 탐세로.
여름이 왔다. 마음껏 청량하자. 청량한 순간에 언제나 칠성사이다.
똑같은 하루에서 답답함을 빼면 더 청량해질 거야. 제로처럼. 우리 없어도 되는 건 빼고 살자. 칠성사이다 제로.
레전드 국가대표 손호찬님 모셨습니다. 반갑습니다. 스트리머의 입장으로서는 BJ 입장에서는 아프리카 사람 다 됐네. 오늘 작정하고 왔구나. 10원 괜찮아. 막기가 삼켜. 아프리카의 심장에서 아프리카 얘기하는 거야.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for waiting. We need a real game. We were just talking about this on the break. I mean, I don't know. Are all the games going to be short and bad? Is that how this is going to work out?
Well, you know, I hope not. It's kind of unfortunate. You know, we have the two big names still left in here. Only one of them can make it out.
That's right.
We're going to go into Tempest as our next map.
Yeah. My favorite part about Tempest is that it's shaped like a ninja star. This is a map of Sonic in ball form.
Yeah.
This is him. Yes, this is he can do damage when he's in the ball form jumping, so be careful.
You know, I'm looking around and I can't see a good place for C to put proxy barracks, so we might actually have to see him try to play a game here.
No, Tastosis, I've got my fingers crossed for a fourth bad game, okay? We got to keep the streak going. We've come too far with games where really no strategies happened so far. Just catastrophic losses all around.
I just love it when people die to the first attack, you know?
Yeah, no, that's, yeah. Like, it's really kind of annoying when they have to go back and forth and fight over stuff. I like it when someone just makes something and kills the other guy. I go, yes. Yeah, this is why I like this game.
So refreshing.
Yeah. A back and forth PvT where they both, you know, the science vessels and arbiter. Boring. Zergling's killing a hatchery and the guy leaves the game immediately. Thumbs up. Here we see C. C is like still cringing from that loss from the command center.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of pressure on him now because if this game looks similar, like, will his stream chatters ever let that go? Because that's like, you're like, hey guys, I made an ASL, I still got it. And you know, you're going to have your doubters because you're a big streamer. Yeah. And then if you don't deliver, it's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, man. You knew when he canceled that command center, you thought, oh, the boys are going to have fun with that one in the chat. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I hope this is a closer game. Soulkey versus C coming up next. C doing a little bit of meditation before he gets into this game. He has got to pull it back together. I'd almost be more scared I'm going to accidentally cancel my command center again. I feel like sometimes you do something that bad and it traumatizes you in a way where now, like, it could happen again.
Yeah, it happens sometimes to Terran because you'll try to grab the SCV and tell him to stop building, but like,
right.
It's less than once a year. Anyways, here we go. Woo. Woo. Woo.
Tempest, gotta go fast.
So yeah, Soulkey in that bottom left. We have C in the top left. And really hoping he can put out a good high-quality game here. Like, there's no real good proxy location, I feel like. But I wouldn't mind to see Soulkey go pool first because it's hard for me to imagine C ever beating Soulkey. You know what I mean? Soulkey's just so good at macros ZBT.
Yeah, he's always been, like, just really on top of the matchup here. But, you know, let's see what he's got, man. I am very... I really do... I actually do not want this to be a bad game. In all seriousness, I would love to have, like, a real back and forth. I guess the big question is going to be here. Can C get his head back? Get his head back in the game? It is going to be a Rax on 8, so it's going to be a little bit of pressure. This has been becoming more and more popular here in the matchup.
Where he's put it, he's going to have to go gas with this. You know, it's too far away to like do any sort of walling technique here, and it's like, in fact, it's like further away than if he was putting it in his natural from 2 of the main bases. So kind of an interesting location that he's chosen. This is like, you will not be able to scout this unless your Overlord is coming from the top right. You know,
right.
That's the only situation in which you're going to see this barracks.
Oh wow,
that's different.
That's different. Yeah. Okay. So
this is a BSB. I haven't seen one of these in like more than 15 years.
Yeah, Barracks Supply Depot Barracks. So just to be clear, guys, we thought he was going to probably just expand behind this, or maybe you can go for gas, but the second barracks is a very unusual twist.
He's trying to make this look like it's a barracks expand, but he's going to have additional Marines that come out from the side that you don't expect. It's actually a pretty clever play here, because as long as you start that second Rax on time, which is right around 1:30, for the Zerg point of view, this is just going to look like, you know, you're going to pop 2 Marines out, bring your SCV up, act like you're making a command center, but then, you know, your opponent might have like 4 Lings or something, and then you bring down 4 extra Marines from the other one and you just crush. Like, it's really not a bad idea.
Well, I also think, you know, we're pretty much all in agreement that Soulkey's the better player, right? Like, he should win this, so why not? This is kind of a very cool little cheese. Also note that the Overlord's going to get driven away. This is going to be possibly just like a very quick fatal blow to Soulkey here.
Yeah. See, his 2 Marines are seen by the Overlord, and they start to walk. The drone is very luckily coming down at exactly the right second to see these Marines.
Oh my God.
SCV's being drilled. He has started 1 creep colony, but he'll be there before this finishes.
Yeah, remember that every bit of damage is basically permanent for the Terran. I mean, technically SCVs can repair each other, but we're probably not going to have a moment like that. Oh, see, he seemed to be getting very frustrated. I think he's realized the timing might not work out. The Marines are getting stuck attacking that Overlord here. The Sunk finishes. The SCVs
he has to fight. Oh my God, he can't pull back. Like, he has to go for this right now.
I think that Soulkey won. Yeah, and you can see kicking his head back here. 20 HP on the Sun. Now,
that's painful. If that drone hadn't come in at that time, Tasteless, C might have won this game.
Yeah, and you could see, I mean, just the presence of the Zergling alone. Oh my God! Okay, that's it. 6 HP.
Wow.
You know, every few seconds, a little bit more HP comes back. Marines, you know, you can really feel how slow they are.
Yeah.
In moments like this, how long it takes them to actually get down here. We saw C make a big sigh. He scratched the back of his head. No doubt this is one of the worst days of StarCraft in his entire 25 years of playing. Literally.
Yeah.
This is hell. I mean, he's going to try again. He is. There's a second sunken colony coming here. Aspire's okay. Tastosis. Aspire is started. Now, I think this is impossible. A third sunk's going to come. I mean, again, these are best of ones. I don't really blame C for doing this. But with a third sunken colony that's going to be on the way, he sees the SCVs, so he knows, okay, well, this is it, right? So even now, if you needed to, you could pull drones, although I don't know that he even needs to do that.
Yeah, I think you do just because, this is the only thing left to him. And so C's going to GG.
All right. Well, guys, get your bad game punch card out. We got another short one, all right? If we get a 5th bad game for the night, your soda is free.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, Tasteless, I'm sure glad that Sock didn't make it into ASL, but C did. I'm sure glad about that, Tasteless. The number one terror on the ladder didn't make it in.
Let's get 8-15 in here, man. Let's get some more cheesy games. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, the drone saves the day. I think the build was actually a good idea. Unfortunately, it did not pan out, and the sunken colony was never killed. And so, I mean, if you can kill this sunk and get a couple more Marines and SCVs there, you've got a game on your hands. You can definitely do it. But, Soulkey, again, it comes down to that drone scout. That only works if you don't scout it. And it's engineered to go through any blind spot the Zerg might have, but Soulkey did have a drone on the map, and so that's that. Again, see, literally one of the worst StarCraft days, maybe the worst StarCraft day in the quarter of a century this game's been out. He's been here since day one. Up next, guys, we're going to have, I think, a pretty sick match. It's going to be Soulkey versus Rain.
Yeah.
One of these guys goes on, and one of them gets eliminated. How weird is that to say out loud?
I know. Hey, that's actually a very nice match. That's what I wanted to see here tonight. Obviously, it didn't work out like that. Soulkey get knocked down by Calm, who's playing magnificently. But at least one of them goes through. We're going to see that after this quick commercial break.
우주급 텐션 최고의 토킹 핫식스 토킹.
네, 손님.
내가 질까?
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing we.
김윤환 선수도 지난 시즌 ASL 8강까지 올라갔거든요.
예, 참 재미있는 선수이죠. 개인 방송도 그렇고 경기 내용도 그렇고.
보여줘야 되는 연보성 선수입니다.
그때 그 음악으로 돌아왔네요.
와, 상대를 좀 홀리는 그 스킬을 보여줬었던 염캐비. 뭔가를 좀 보여줘야 됩니다. 음악도 연보성 선수의 음악이랑 똑같아요. 예, 진정한 도깨비가 누군지.
연보성 선수의 약간 하얀 버전이라고 할 수 있게.
MC 도리야키.
여러 가지로 예전에 도리야키라는 이런 어떤 그 별명으로 붙었죠. 외모가 이제 좀 흡사했기 때문에 추억을 머릿속에 그리게 만드는 자신의 BGM이었어요.
프로가 뭔지를 보여주겠다. 이는 나갔지만 이빨은 나갔지만 임플란트를 달면서 새로운 임플란트적으로 활약을 해주겠다.
그래 내가 개다.
음악이 기가 막히죠? 내가 개다. 나의 개는 세다. 라는 뜻을 이 빠른 만에서는 아쉽게 패배를 했거든요.
뭐 그래도 약간 좀 미안하다. 졌으니까요. 2승을 좀 따내야 되겠죠?
I'm not sorry. 이 소리에서 로얄로 바꿨거든요. 이제 소리가 아니니까 이번 경기에서 김지성 선수가 현저로 지금 가면서 문제가 발생했어요. 저거가 들어왔죠. 이 BGM대로 이 산뜻한 기분이 과연 경기 끝날 때까지 이어질 수 있을지. 이 짱구는 못 말려 OST에 맞춰서 짱구 댄스까지 보여주면서 이번 경기를 준비한 장윤철 선수입니다.
BGM과 더불어서 본인의 손동작까지 연마해갖고 오는 정도의 여유가 있는 선수는
그리 쉽지는 않겠지. 나를 허락해줄 세상이란
하셨다는 이야기를 했죠?
오랜만에 다시 나타난 구성우 선수 마치 왕과 같은 그런 생활을 하고 있죠.
이거 킹이란 말씀이세요?
구성훈이니까 지금 선택할 수 있는 그런 BGM이 아닌가 싶습니다.
잉어하면은 아무래도 이제 또 장수의 상징이기도 하고
맞습니다.
영웅이잖아요.
그대가 떠나질 않아. I'm your man.
먼저 만나볼 상대는 조기석 선수예요.
결혼도 어느 정도 좀 앞두고 있는 그 선수이다 보니까 뭔가 달달한 그런 노래를 좀 선택할 수 있습니다. 6년 만이죠. 3년 만에 이제 복귀를 했고.
와, 거기다가 이제 응원의 힘까지.
모든 걸 I miss you. 보고 싶나 보긴 꿈에서 Do it, do it, do it.
지금 저 꺼내서 확인하는 거죠. 내부까지 안 해. 여기까지 역시 또 오늘 부금이 남순 널 위해예요. 야, 선 세리머니 나옵니다. 선
이런
세리머니.
모습은 처음 아닌가 싶어요. 얌전한 선수였거든요, 원래.
황병희 선수가 ASL을 뚫어냈어요.
방탄소년단의 노래를 한번에 들었는데
BGM이 이렇게 잘 맞아 떨어지기가 쉽지 않거든요. 야, 방탄테란! 방탄테란!
헤어 컬러 자체도 약간 아이돌 같은 이런 느낌이에요. 음악하고 너무 지금 싱크로율이
조명 아래 또 시작되는 move 우아한 손짓.
치권의 달인으로 불리우고 있는 그런 선수 중에 하나인데 저도 치권에 좀 빠져왔지 않습니까?
그렇죠. 게임에 취해야 되는데 지고 난 이후에 술에 취할 거거든요. 맨날 술이야.
노래 자체가 좀 짠하네요.
천천히 선수야 들고 나왔네요. 자, 이제 그 음료의 힘. 이 물량이 정말 엄청난 선수거든요. 마시는 물량이요.
초코바를
와, 이게 정말
계산된 어떤 그 초코바 시식이 아닐까라는 이런 생각이 드는데 새로운 어떤 그 변화를 주면서 개인기를 선보이고 있죠.
세상에서 가장 싫은 게 배 고픈 거예요.
그렇죠.
항상 배가 불러 있어야 된다. 그래 경기력이 나와요. 그게 부분이에요.
리마스터가 되고 난 이후에 처음 오프라인 무대에 나선다라고 이제 떨리는 마음을 이야기했었던 김태용 선수가 자 노래가 굉장히
숙연하죠.
네, 그렇습니다. 얼마 안 남았다라는 것을 본인 스스로 이제 인지하면서
손이 떨려요, 김태경이.
그렇습니다.
오늘 BGM이 이등병의 편지였거든요.
네, 이등병 세레머니를
진정한 사나이가 됐습니다. 이제는 군인에서 민간인으로 하고 있습니다.
받겠다라는 거죠. 새신랑이 될 수 있는 그 선수를
무기잡이라고 이야기를 따로 불러볼 만큼
고기를 잡으러 바다로 가야 됩니다. 산으로 가면 안 돼요.
이번 시즌 첫 테란전인데 정말 만나기 싫은 상대를 만날 수밖에 없는 입장이 되어버렸습니다.
그래도 진짜예요.
BGM을 듣고 참 정말 어려운 처지에 처했구나라고 생각을 하고 있는데
신의 음악을 고른 여기서 경기를 펼칠 김민철 선수고요. 음악 조금 더 들어볼까요?
음악
방송인가요? 좋습니다. 자, 바로 이어서 다음 선수 박수범 선수는 어떤 음악을 들고 나올지 기대해 보겠습니다.
인간극장.
어울려요.
7.8기.
왠지 음악부터 진 것 같은 느낌이.
음악에 뭔가 이제 고뇌와 이 아픔과 이 슬픔이 박수남 선수가 인생을 바꿔보고자 7년 전에 개명을 했거든요.
그렇습니다.
하지만 그 누구도 그 이름을 안 불러주고 있어요.
네, 박지훈이라는 이름을 이야기하면은 아마추어인가 이런.
What's up, everybody? We're back, and we are ready to go into this final game. This could have been a finals of ASL in a different time, in a different, I mean, even in the modern era. I mean, these two guys are so good. I can't believe one of them is going to be eliminated. I mean, this is just shocking to me. Soulkey and Rain. Again, Calm, you know, if you're just now joining, Calm did advance. He escaped like a bandit out of this group, leaving these three huge names in StarCraft 1 left to duke it out for that final spot. Now it's down to just these two.
Yeah, Calm definitely in great shape. So, you know, you want to see the best player advance, and Calm definitely outplayed, well, I don't want to say outplayed Soulkey, got a good build order against him and just crushed because it's ZVZ. But, you know, he had an amazing build for Rain and was able to take him out as well. It's hard to say exactly the shape of both Rain and Soulkey right now, honestly, based on the games that they've already played. This group has been, it's been quick, it's been dirty, it's been messy. So, yeah, I'm having a hard time putting my finger on who I think is going to be able to take this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Let's get into this game. This has to be a closer game here. We're going to go to the map Retro for this best of one. I think either one could take it. I feel like this is pretty 50-50 right now, Tastosis. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think it is pretty close to 50-50. I didn't mind how Rain was playing against Calm, but Calm, like, just nailed him. And Soulkey's always good, so let's see it.
All right, getting into this game, we've got Rain here in the top right. We've got Soulkey in the bottom right. Before we go any further, guys, quick plug here. If you haven't done so already, we would appreciate the support on Patreon. Patreon.com/ASL English. Help us get to our goal, and we guarantee all the games will be as bad as one-sided as they are today. This has been a rough day of games, man.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, you gotta have some lemons to make a lemon pie tasteless. You know, it's if every game was good, then no games are good. You know,
well,
you have to
in
have.
This game, every game is a lemon, Tastosis. Let me put it like that.
That's for sure. And without a day like this, yeah, how can you appreciate the really great days full of great games unless you have someone canceling the command center and then just being held on their second all-in, right? It's you know, it's some weak games today overall. Like I think the Calm Rain game had some redeeming features, and I'm hoping this one will as well. Because honestly, both these guys are fantastic, and I would be happy with either one of them moving forward. In fact, like you said, it's really weird to see one of them going out. They always finish it like round of 8 or more.
Yeah, no, these are basically two players that you would always say it's a safe bet that they're going to go to the round of 8. So in this game, we have the Gateway expand here from Rain. We should note, so this is a little bit subtle, but he scouted the center right with the probe to see if there was an Overlord there, but Soulkey's doing an unusual Overlord pattern. And this is actually one of the few things that can really backfire when you play like this.
Yeah.
Because he's going to scout the bottom left and now assume that Zerg is in the top left. Now,
that's right. Yeah.
Nobody says you have to scout a certain way with an Overlord, but there are some that make more sense. Usually, you send the Overlord in a direction so it could go over the natural of the first spot you scout. So a normal scouting pattern would be to send the first Overlord to the north from where Soulkey's position is. But now Rain, he's going to find out that didn't scout in time, and he's going to have a couple moments of uncertainty as far as, what is Zerg doing? Could Zerg be going for a 9-pool speedling rush? A lot of times, unusual scout patterns can be good for builds like that, but he's going to get there and see that this is not the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah. The ramp will be blocked, so it's going to be a little bit hard to figure out what's going on, but we'll see. With the Zealot coming down, the Zerglings are going to have to move, and you see this probe is trying to deny that third base for Soulkey, and there's not a lot of choices on where to take that, so that's going to be annoying.
Yeah, pretty good control here from Rain. He does pop one of those Zealots. This hatchery can't plant, and honestly, Rain is doing like such a good job with this Zealot that I'm getting worried here for Soulkey. Oh my God!
Yeah, gets that hatchery down.
I mean, with the way that the way the rush was going, I mean, if you block that hatchery and keep this up, like the Zerg can fall apart really fast.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he has enough lings now, and actually gets a very good surround for a moment there at least. And this is going to end up falling also. Very good micro at the beginning, but Soulkey comes back over the top with his own strong micro and is going to be able to hold this early pressure.
Yeah, and I mean, as the game goes on, you got to be careful. It's one thing to kill off a couple lings early on with the Zealots, but you do need to eventually bring that back and make sure that you're going to have a stable position, especially when you go for a forge like the one that he's getting now. I mean, this can backfire if you don't have the right number of Zealots once the rush is held. And I think he does not have the right number. If we don't see another Zealot come out of that gateway, I think, okay, never mind. He just gets it out in time. He plugs that up.
Well, it puts that probe behind the gateway as well, so very hard to click on. Has enough Zealots. I think he is going to be all right with that Photon Cannon warping in, so it looks like Rain's defense going to be just about perfect here. Has the Cybernetics core up, starting to mine his gas, and Soulkey throwing down the Hydra Den. Looks like we're going to have some aggression.
I'm always interested in Hydra busts when the map is new, because, it's not always clear exactly what the placement needs to be at for the Protoss to hold in all these positions. Like, I don't know how many cannons can actually fit behind this, but, it does seem like the gas gets in the way a little bit. I mean, is this going to be a bust where maybe the Zerg can just kind of take the game and pull the rug right out from under the Protoss? We're going to see.
Well, probe trying to come down maybe for some additional scouting. That Overlord has really seen all the movements here from Rain. So really hard for Rain to actually get the intel he's looking for. Soulkey chasing down that probe. The probe does turn around rather than die. It is going to retreat. But just the fact that Rain is completely unable to scout so far is definitely making me feel like Soulkey's going to be pretty happy about this.
Okay, 4 Zealot push. Now he's got a... Oh no! Can he get the cannon in time? He is going to get the cannon Artosis, and this is one of the down and dirty tricks you can pull off from the Zerg's perspective. The blocking is so good from Rain. I gotta say, I'm super impressed. The link count is low enough. I think that, yeah, he just holds it here. But the Zealots stopped moving.
Yeah, he did really fantastically on that. And the fact that the Zealots are not going to push in and not going to figure out what's going on. Look at this. It's actually mass speedling, despite the fact that there's a Hydralisk Den. I don't think the speedlings are going to be able to break through here, to be honest, with the Zealots going home.
Well, I think basically the Zealots, maybe it was intentional to not go further along with the Zealots. I thought that was a mistake, but he did end up forcing Lings. The Zealots go back home. The Lings are useless. Are we going to have any Hydras made here? I mean, the sooner that Corsair is out, the harder it is for this rush to go undetected. I mean, the Corsair is kind of the trump card for scouting in this matchup at this phase of the game. We do have the Hydras filtering out one by one. It looks like we've got about 4 inbound here. We have a second cannon being made. Note that the placement is a little bit haphazard here. He could have probably fit an extra cannon there if he could push that one hex up, which will actually be a factor when this rush comes in. The den is spotted. It's moments like this, you almost wish you made the den just at the bottom of the hatchery there, just buying you literally an extra second. But let's see how ready Rain's going to be, because if he's not ready, this game is going to end just like the rest of them did today.
Yeah, real possibility there. He is making a couple more cannons, has 2 up already, but like you said, they are spaced in kind of a funny way, so not able to support each other as much. Soulkey jumps up, gets on top of the cannon, kills one of them. Ling's taking a bunch of the hits for him, tries to get the second one now. Of course, that Hydra range upgrade not done, but he has enough range to bust that. More Hydras coming up. Is Rain just going to die to 2 Hydra busts in a row, Tasteless?
Oh, I think he is Tastosis. This is looking really bad. That cannon is just barely, it's gone. It's taken out. Another cannon finishes here. Keep in mind that the Forge has been tanking damage this whole time. I don't know if another one's been remade up here in the main, but that means that there's only 5 more cannons left to defend until a new Forge is produced, and another cannon already falls. Tastosis, I think this is over. GG! Guys, we did it! 5 bad games in a day!
Wow!
All right!
Wow! The first attack killed everybody today.
That's the kind of StarCraft I like, is the first attack ending the game.
That's rough. That is rough, Tasteless. I feel like Rain is not in terrible shape, but definitely did get Hydra busted twice, which is not a great day for him. Our 2 Zerg players advance. Kind of sad to see. You know, this guy, I think if he's in very good shape, he can win ASL. I did hear that he's actually had wrist problems and had to go to the doctor very recently for them since qualifying, so maybe that plays into it partially.
A lot of pain getting traded around today. It's been an ugly day, guys. It's been brutal. We've all had losses like the losses these guys had today. Soulkey's going to move on, and a major figurehead of modern Protoss and Protoss history is wiped out in the round of 24. And again, I mean, Calm, such a disruptive force here. But, I mean, truly exceptionally one-sided games today.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't want to nitpick too much, but it did seem like the cannons weren't exactly spaced out in the nicest way.
No, certainly. He found out about this so late as well, had a really hard time getting any intel.
I understand the rationale to send the Zealots back, but sometimes it's almost, there might have been an argument to send the Zealots in there and just try to scout. It's a lot harder to hide the Hydras if, the Zealots charge in there. Even if they can only get behind the mineral patch at the natural, it forces you to trade unfavorably with Lings, and it just buys you time. Anything that can spot the Hydra when it's on the way there, seconds really do come into wins or losses here from both sides. So, if you can get those cannons up a little bit quicker, that's huge. We're going to have an interview now with Soulkey, see what his thoughts are. He's moving on to the round of 16, being the second survivor here of Group B. The Zergs made it.
핫식스와 함께하는 ASL 시즌 16 24강.
Alright, we have the second winner of Group B. It is going to be Soulkey moving on to round of 16 after going through the final match, taking down Rain. Congratulations. Thank you. Soulkey, you're back in you're back in round of 16. And I mean, the round of 24 has not been an easy one for you this time around. But you're back in round of 16. How do you feel? Well, round of 16 always felt like something that you had to get to no matter what. But then my performance hasn't been too good today. But I can definitely tell Calm made sort of preparation ahead of today's match. But even if I lost the first match, I had confidence that I would win the other 2 matches to qualify for the round of 16. That's right, you were kind of taken aback by Calm's performance today. Yeah, he completely saw through you. He knew that you were going to go for the natural, and then he countered it perfectly. But you're close with Calm. So, do you hope to take revenge against him in the round of 16? I mean, in a best of 3, I'd never lose to that guy. I'm really confident. So I don't want to play against him in the first match, but if it's a best of 3, I'll be very keen to play against him. I mean, Soulkey, you always soar up high in ASL, so we definitely have no doubts when it comes to your performance. What would be your goal for this season? Well, my goal's always been the championship win. I really want to try to win this time around. In the losers against C, you were defending against all his army. In the final match, you defended against Rain's ferocious plays, and now you make it to the round of 16. So I'm sure the fans are all waiting for your next match in the round of 16. Any closing thoughts? Any message to your fans? Well, I think the fans were probably worried because my performance has been quite inconsistent today, unstable. But I want to thank all my friends, thank all my AfreecaTV college friends. And yeah, I'll be back stronger next time. Congratulations, Soulkey, and we look forward to your next performance. Thank you. And that's it for the second winner's interview with Soulkey as he moves on to round of 16.
All right, guys. Well, that's that. Not all days are created equally. Two Zergs surviving. We've got Soulkey and Calm, both the players to get out. C had the worst day ever. I feel for the guy.
Yeah.
Rain, you got to get those cannons up. I think that, one of the biggest patterns we have in all of StarCraft that's been consistent since the very beginning is Hydra rushes versus Protoss. It's just a really, really strong opener. In some ways, I feel like it is still basically the best rush in the game. I mean, how many ASL top-tier Protosses do we see just die to Hydras? It's a lot, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everyone just dies to it occasionally, right? You block that scouting a little bit, the Protoss is trying to cut corners, and suddenly you come in with the Hydras and you win the game. Used at every level.
Yep, from top all the way to bottom. Tomorrow, Group C is going to be coming out here. We've got Snow versus Killer and Royal versus Shuttle. And I think this is going to be another great group. I mean, with rain falling, I really want to see Snow move on here. Royal and Shuttle here. I mean, these are both two extremely good players, too, to keep an eye on. And Killer, I mean, look, this guy, who knows? Look what Calm did, right?
Yeah, Killer's good. Yeah, don't underestimate him. He is a strong player. Shuttle has been doing better lately as well, but like Snow and Royal are a step above. Like both these guys are like round of 4 quality plus. Snow might win the season. Honestly, he is the best Protoss in the world in literally every matchup right now. Like he is crushing all 3 matchups. He's insanely strong.
He's looking so good that I do think he's someone who could actually take this whole tournament. He's really been improving and innovating, and I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem like Snow has a weakness. So yeah, and Royal again, another really scary Terran. I mean, if you followed any of the recent ASLs, I mean, you've seen this guy's play. It's truly inspirational. So. I really look forward to that, and I think we will have, no matter what, a longer set of games.
Yeah. It's impossible to really have another day that looks like this, right? The weakest player probably for ASL this season is C, and he had those weak games, unfortunately. But, it is what it is. It's probably going to be our worst group for the season. Hope that you guys did enjoy today. And a big thanks to everyone who has subscribed over on the Patreon, patreon.com/ASL English. Definitely give that a look-see.
We love you guys. Thanks again for watching. Group C is going to be just around the corner. Take care. Bye-bye.